a teenage girl on the Upper West Side lamented that some boys offered to help carry her looted clothing and radios, but then ended up running off with them. So she was quoted saying, "That's just not right. They shouldn't have done that." I love that.
Never trust a boy on the Upper West Side.
The looter got looted. There's some weird justice in that, I guess. Hello, I'm Ed Helms, and this is SNAFU, the podcast about history's greatest screw-ups. My guest today is the amazing Desi Lydic, who has been absolutely crushing it on The Daily Show since 2015 with her razor-sharp, next-level satire and let's just be honest, brilliantly funny, insightful, and fearless reporting across the board. You're so good at what you do, Desi, and I'm so psyched you're here. Welcome to SNAFU.
Ed, thanks for having me on. That is a way too kind intro. Entirely too kind.
No,
and I'm not
isn't.
sure factual, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. This is very cool to be on with you because I was a regular, avid watcher of The Daily Show for many, many years while you were on, and you're part of the reason why I wanted to be on The Daily Show, admiring your work and John's and Steve and Steven and Sam. It's just, this is very cool. So thank you.
That is so sweet. Go on.
Yes. Well, another thing that I specifically like about your performance,
yes,
your everyman likability, your razor sharp wit.
Okay. This will all get edited out, but but I'm loving it. Yeah. So we do have The Daily Show in common. It's been, I hate to say this, but it's been almost 20 years since I worked there.
Oh my God.
That feels insane to me. But you are there now, and you've been there a bunch of years. And
10, almost 10.
Which is
just crazy too.
So badass. You guys are crazy. How was this transition? So when I was there, obviously Jon Stewart was the full-time host, and I was sort of a part of a cadre of correspondents, and we did focus mostly on field segments and then the studio pieces with Jon. But now, and that's kind of how you started too, right? With Trevor?
Yes, definitely.
At a certain point, you transitioned into also part of this rotating host formula, which I just think is so cool. I think it's working so well. What was that like? What was that transition like?
Crazy. There was a period of time where we were kind of testing out some different ideas, and we didn't really know what was going to happen and who the host was going to be. And then it started to open up a little bit, and I kind of threw my hat in the ring and put my hand up and said, "Hey, put me in, coach," before I could think about it too hard.
Hell yeah.
And just by some chance that they would consider me. And then this format came about, and Jon came back to the show, and it was a little terrifying because, being a correspondent, it's not an easy job by any means, but you're in character. So I was very accustomed to being on the show as the character of the correspondent, and when you're hosting, you're basically yourself. So it was a whole other type of work, and requires practice and giving it a shot. And so I didn't really know if I could do it, but the team here is so incredible. It's a well-oiled machine. Everyone had our backs, and we all support one another. And we've got Jon, who could not be a more exceptional leader. And watching him every Monday is like a master class. So to get to try something new creatively and something so exciting, and to get to look to him, it's beyond a dream come true.
I think comedians in general, or comedy people, are trained, or it's almost like an instinct or a reflex to look for snafus.
Yeah.
We're always kind of trying to look under the surface at kind of what's going wrong. And especially at a place like The Daily Show, like you're looking for what's going wrong in order to generate satire. I actually found that I loved it, and it was like very invigorating. I felt like I was part of a meaningful satirical voice at the show, but it kind of took a toll on me over a long period of time, focusing entirely on a little bit of the darker side of things. And I wonder if you've ever felt that, or felt a sense of exasperation.
Yeah.
It can sort of like eat you a little bit. That's what I found.
Yeah. Well, Ed, I'm dead inside. So I feel nothing anymore. It is gone. I've lost all sense of humanity. No, it is taxing. It really is. And I think for me, I've kind of gone up and down on it. It's a bit of an emotional roller coaster,
Sure.
a mental roller coaster, because you're right. There's no escaping it. You can't just bury your head in the sand and be like, well, I'm just going to not pay attention to the news today. But I will say, I think some kind of action, even for us, even if it's just finding the comedy in it, even if it's just creative action, it feels good to do something and just talk about it, admit that it's happening in a room full of people who can kind of provide catharsis and support, and we can talk it out with each other. And then also being forced to find the humor in it somewhere is
it's
my
redeeming.
therapy. It is redeeming. It really, and especially this year.
Yeah, so The Daily Show is your therapist, is what you're saying.
It totally is. It
All right.
totally is. They should be billing me. I'm sure I'll get an invoice in the mail. I pay them to do the show.
Before we dive into today's snafu, what is a major snafu from your life?
Oh, God. I have too many to choose from. I feel like I'm a snafu a day kind of person.
Sure.
We were just chatting right before we started here about old VHS tapes, and it brought up this like humiliation, the snafu that happened when I was a kid. I was obsessed with Madonna, like many young girls.
Sure.
I wanted to be Madonna. And I think I was maybe somewhere around 8. I probably wasn't allowed to watch MTV, but I was sneaking it. And Madonna had this performance. It was her MTV Video Music Awards. I think it must have been a rerun because I was like trying to think of what the timeline was. But she performed like a virgin.
Oh, yeah.
On stage, you remember?
Yeah.
And she
Legendary.
humped the floor, crawled around, gyrated on the floor. And I didn't know what any of it meant, but I was so mesmerized. And I knew that she was about to come on, and I grabbed a VHS tape and put it in the recorder.
Yeah.
By the way, your young listeners are going to be like, what's a VHS? What is she talking about? So I throw a VHS in the machine, and I hit record just really quickly.
Oh, no.
And months later, my relatives come over and they go, oh, we should watch Tracy's graduation video. Oh yeah, you never got to see that, Nanny. We should put that on. And it's Christmas time and the whole family gathers around. There's like 18 of us and we're down in the basement. We huddle around the TV and we grab my cousin Tracy's graduation video and put it in. And it's Madonna humping the floor. And everyone looks at me like, Desi?
Oh, my God.
I felt so terrible.
I'm imagining that it's like right as the president of the school is announcing your cousin's name and she's about to walk up on stage and then it's just like cut to just the worst.
Madonna, just all hip thrust.
And the whole family's gathered around.
It was so humiliating. I'm sure I got grounded for not only taping over my cousin's graduation, but also watching something that was highly inappropriate for me at that time.
Today's snafu is also kind of tech-related.
Oh.
I want to take you into a truly insane historical snafu. It's a story that gets very dark very fast, and I mean that in every sense. Literally, figuratively, socio-politically, and possibly even spiritually. Are you ready?
Yes.
It's July 1977 in the Big Apple, baby. That's right, disco, punk, and rent you could actually afford. But it wasn't all Studio 54 and Skyline dreams. The city was a bit of a mess. Unemployment was at 12%. Subway fares had just doubled from 25 cents to a whopping 50 cents. What is it now?
Ooh.
It's like $3.
Yeah.
And thanks to budget cuts, city services were pretty much in the toilet. Libraries, schools, sanitation, even the NYPD had all taken major hits. Oh, and just to spice things up, the son of Sam was still on the loose. You're aware of
that old guy.
Yeah, that guy. That old creep. The serial killer who claimed a demon was speaking to him through a barking dog. So yeah, it was a hell of a time in New York City. Desi, this was New York at one of its most sort of chaotic and volatile moments. But let's be real. The city's always pretty intense. Do you thrive on that intensity? Do you kind of find your own calm in the chaos? Like, what kind of New Yorker are you?
Yeah, I've had to kind of thrive. I've had to adapt to it, that's for sure. But, you know, if you watch Fox News, they will tell you that it is this sort of 1977 version all day, just a city of hell. It's just a walking nightmare. I don't know. Yes, it's intense and it's chaotic, but I love it.
Yes.
You have to be out in the middle of it. You have to interact with other people, good or bad. I was walking down the street with my dog the other day, and I look over, and there was just a guy selling My Little Ponies with a light bulb coming out the top, just 30 of them on the street. I thought, God, only in New York do you have this kind of quirkiness just out, and he was making a killing. People were buying them. That's
so funny because my only in New York story is like seeing people like defecating in the middle of Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, well, there's that too. I'm sorry about that, by the way. I really had to go.
No, but I agree with you. I agree. I think there's like something super special about the intensity of New York. And it kind of, I don't know, makes me feel creative, inspired, and also just knowing the density of cultural history that has happened and transpired, like all of the incredible people that have lived and thrived in New York. It's just I love it. I really miss it.
It's a magical place, even among all the defecation and masturbation on the subway. It's really, it's so special.
It is, in spite of all that. Anyone who's ever been to New York City during the dead of summer knows that it is a particularly brutal time. But in 1977, it was next level brutal. The city was in the grip of a record heat wave with temperatures hitting 97 degrees for 9 straight days. So, the concrete jungle was basically like a concrete oven. Now, I'm from Georgia. You're from Kentucky. We know a thing or two about heat, but there's something uniquely punishing about New York City summer, right? As much as we love New York, like, it gets hard.
It's brutal because it's humid. It gets humid more so than you think. And the buildings really trap it all in. So you're just stuck in it, and you can't escape into your air-conditioned car very easily because you don't really drive in New York.
No.
So
can we talk about the smell? Can we talk a little bit about the smell? It's like the trash is just baking. It's like the trash cans are these little ovens that bake everything. And then, of course, any street runoff is like just cooking on the hot asphalt and rising into the humidity.
Cooking up a stew of city. Yeah, it's urine. There's even here where we film at the Daily Show in lovely Hell's Kitchen, we're in between a Subway restaurant, which has the lovely aroma of baked bread. And on the other side are the horse stables. So it's just horse shit and a little bit of baked bread and then garbage and urine smell from the dog park across the street. Summer over here gets real interesting quick.
It's funny how consistent that smell is. Like every summer, it's just that's hot city smell. And it's not good, but weirdly, I'm just going to say it's kind of nostalgic now. It's like
it's comforting.
It's like fresh cut grass. Like it sort of brings back memories.
Maybe we should start an aroma company. Like we should make a candle that has that New York summer smell, and we could go out with it. Do you think it would sell?
City summer funk. The funk of
City Summer Funk.
The funk of the City Summer.
City Summer Funk.
I think it would sell. I'm not going to say like hotcakes.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I'll take it. Picture yourself in the middle of this heat wave throughout the 5 boroughs. It's the summer of 77. And remember, in the 70s, people wore a lot of polyester, which is not exactly breathable or moisture wicking. So at this point, you might be saying, wow, this is like pretty bleak already. And you'd be right. But we're just setting the stage here. We haven't even gotten to the SNAFU yet.
I'm sweating a little bit. Can you tell? Can you see? I'm sweating.
Drink some water. Stay hydrated, because here we go. Now it's July 13th, 1977. To quote The Lovin' Spoonful, it's hot time, summer in the city. And as the sun goes down, the sky starts to churn. Thick, ominous clouds rolling in like they've got unfinished business. Storms a brewing, and not just any storm, a monster electrical storm. At 8:37 p.m., a massive bolt of lightning strikes the Buchanan South substation in Westchester County, tripping 2 critical circuit breakers. This lightning strike, combined with a loose locking nut and, of course, some delayed maintenance, prevented the breakers from resetting, cutting off a major power source. Minutes later, at 8:55 p.m., another lightning bolt strikes the Sprain Brook substation in Yonkers, knocking out 2 more vital transmission lines. The system, already strained, begins to falter. Operators at Con Edison, the city's power provider, attempt to bring additional generators online, but some were actually unmanned, like there was nobody there. And the others just failed to start remotely. So by 9:24 p.m., the situation had deteriorated rapidly. The remaining power lines were overloaded, and the city's largest generator, Ravenswood Unit Number 3, nicknamed Big Alice, shut down to protect itself from damage. Minutes later, 9:36 p.m., the entire Con Edison system collapsed, plunging New York City into darkness, and thus began what would become known as the 77 Night of Terror.
What a perfect storm of a snafu. Just a series of mishaps, one right after the next.
There's always in these snafus, there's always a lot of human error. I mean, obviously, like the lightning is insane. This was like a really exceptional electrical storm, but like there's always like somebody messing up. Not enough maintenance was done. There was a loose nut somewhere. Did you, as a kid, like in the South, we're familiar with big lightning storms. Oh, yeah. Did you like a lightning storm?
Oh, it was kind of fun. I mean, I never liked having to come in from being outside playing because back in those days, we played outside. Kids played outside.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yes, the younger generation doesn't get it.
We played outside through rainstorms, like even through like electrical storms. We didn't care. Our parents didn't care.
Also because in the South, a thunderstorm would last sometimes like 3.5 minutes and then it would clear up, you know?
Yeah.
And we also had tornadoes. Did you have tornadoes?
We had very rare tornadoes. Did you like when the power went out?
I remember I was actually in New York during Sandy, that was probably the closest to like the 77 blackout, but similar. I mean, that was terrifying. Yeah. That was such an eerie feeling to look outside and
for sure
see darkness all the way down the Bowery. It was crazy.
Things were getting real spooky. Traffic lights stopped working all over the city. Subway trains stopped moving. Streets and stores were pitch black all over town. At Shea Stadium, the Mets were losing 2-1 against the Cubs when the lights went out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mets third baseman Lenny Randle was up to bat and later said, "I thought to myself, this is my last at bat. God is coming for me." Can you imagine? Like those lights are so bright. Right? In those ballpark stadiums, and they just like blackout. That must be jarring.
Terrifying.
There was a pretty big problem right away responding to the power outage. Many of the emergency personnel, first responders, police officers, and firefighters lived outside of the city in New Jersey. And because of the blackout, they were unable to get into the city. So things are about to go seriously off the rails here. But for the record, I was in NYC for the blackout of 2003. No, that's not true. I was not actually in the city. I was on a Daily Show field shoot in 2003. I was in Birmingham, Alabama on a field shoot, and I was getting word that like all my friends were in this blackout in New York City. It was funny because all I heard were these great stories of like, oh, I met the love of my life, or I had this incredible one-night stand, or like I went out and had like, some potato chips on my stoop and met these traveling musicians, and we traipsed around the city serenading. Like that sounded like such a wonderful blackout. This is about to go so dark. Do you think New York City is a good place or a bad place for a disaster?
It's all the things.
Yeah,
I think it really, I think there's capacity for all of it because there's just so many different people in New York City and so many, but like the state of the world certainly plays into that.
Definitely. That's huge. And you're exactly right. The state of the world is a major factor. So this blackout happens, and at first, the city holds its breath in the darkness, but around 10 p.m., just a half an hour after the lights went out, New Yorkers began to emerge, and it didn't take long for things to go from a sort of mild curiosity to completely spiraling out of control. Looting erupted across the city in neighborhoods already strained by unemployment and economic hardship. To your point, the blackout was a catalyst for unrest. Over the next 25 hours, more than 1,600 stores were damaged or destroyed. Arsonists set over 1,000 fires, overwhelming the city's fire departments. Mostly, it was a very dark time, no pun intended. But there are a few anecdotes that I dug up that revealed some dark irony. Here's one I found in Time magazine. A teenage girl on the Upper West Side lamented that some boys offered to help carry her looted clothing and radios, but then ended up running off with them. So she was quoted saying, "That's just not right. They shouldn't have done that." I love that.
Never trust a boy on the Upper West Side.
Right. With your looted belongings.
No, no.
Like the looter got looted. There's some weird justice in that, I guess. Does it freak you out how quickly, like we just can, as a society, we can just unravel in something like a blackout?
It is like, it's just the second some people have that opening, it's like, now's my time. Now's my time.
Right?
Yeah.
It goes from
especially when
you're like lighting candles 1 minute and then it's just like full on purge vibes.
Yeah. I think if you're on the verge enough, if your needs aren't being met for whatever reason, like, if I was in a particular headspace, I might see an opening and go, you know what, let's put these candles down. Let's go rob a bank.
Yeah. It's like I have had trouble making ends meet and getting enough groceries for my family for months now. I'm going to the grocery store to just get as much as I can. Like,
now's my chance. Yeah, everyone else is doing it.
Sure. Well, so we were talking about other blackouts. Just 12 years before this blackout in 1965, there was another one that was much bigger, affected 25 million people compared to the one in 77 that only affected 9 million. But during that 65 blackout, city was totally calm. And historians think this is because NYC was simply more stable economically and socially in 1965. People treated that blackout like it was just a weird snow day. But in 1977, the city was in full-blown crisis already. High unemployment, crime, budget cuts, all of that. And, of course, Son of Sam just walking around.
Son of Sam.
It's like, you don't know. Son of Sam could be like in a blackout. He could be right behind you.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Totally. That guy was everywhere. Fear is a powerful motivator. It really is. It can cause you to do some crazy things. Not that we would know anything about that today.
In any context.
Politically.
I felt like you were about to just sort of like unravel the tapestry of modern politics.
I'm like, are we in a metaphorical blackout now?
Yeah, interesting.
Can we not see what's right in front of us? Or is that what's happening to us right now in this moment?
Do we feel like a metaphorical Son of Sam is stalking all of us right now? How do you think New Yorkers today would handle a blackout?
I was here during the pandemic the entire time. It was such a scary time and such an awful time. And I vividly remember we open up our windows every night at 7 p.m. and people stuck their pots and pans and banged on them to cheer on our healthcare workers. Yeah. And to have that moment just once a day to hear New Yorkers come together and show some gratitude and appreciation for the real heroes doing the hard work. I mean, I like to think that New Yorkers, would do the right thing and come together.
Yeah.
And but then they're the masturbators on the subway. So I don't know. It could go either way.
Yeah, but you're speaking to sort of the resilient spirit of the city, which I also kind of appreciate and I think is always under there somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's kind of worth rooting for that always. Anyway, 25 hours later, when the lights finally flickered back on, the damage was staggering. Around 4,500 arrests had been made, and the estimated cost of the blackout was $350 million, which is nearly $2 billion today.
Oh, my God. Think of all the subway rides you could get with that.
I know. The lights may have only gone out for 25 hours, but the blackout had a big effect on New York. That night brought national attention to some of the systemic issues plaguing NYC, economic and otherwise. Many citizens felt abandoned by their institutions with an absent and rundown police force. But the blackout also reinforced the wider narrative that New York was a declining city. It took businesses a while to recover, and voters were ready for change. So, in November of 1977, New York voters elected Ed Koch as their new mayor. I think we have a photo of old Ed Koch.
There he is.
He looks. I don't know when that photo was taken, like in his tenure as mayor or even as a candidate. But man, he looks worn out.
This is not going well.
No, but
it's not going well.
I mean, is there any harder job than mayor of New York City?
It's got to be the hardest job and the most. I feel like the only job that is less appreciated is the job of being a mother. It's just no one ever likes the mayor. No one. Everyone complains about the mayor. The mayor's never doing enough. It's just a thankless job.
But I would even say that just to compare the epic heroism of motherhood to any job is doing a disservice to mothers everywhere, especially to compare to Ed Koch.
Just thankless.
Yeah. Koch had already served in Congress for 5 terms, and many people said he made them feel optimistic while the city was still reeling, lifting New York out of that 70s slump. Others say he balanced the city's budget, but mostly at the expense of low-income communities. He began a more comprehensive public housing system, put over $1 billion towards parks projects, and took Times Square from sleazy Central Plaza to a tourist mecca that is still bustling today.
To a sleazy tourist mecca.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Koch totally unsleazed it.
No, still some sleaze on that old Times Square. If I can never go to Times Square again, I am a happy woman. I will go anywhere else in New York. I have no interest in time. Just the bodies, just all the bodies, especially in the summertime, just the hot bodies. No.
Also, the people walking around Times Square, they don't know how to do New York. They don't know how to walk fast and get out of the way. They don't know how to jaywalk properly. It's
There's a
it's maddening.
zigzag. They're stopping and going. And then you have all the bright lights. Now it's all the screens, so people get distracted.
Yeah, it's very Blade Runner.
Stimulating. It's too much.
The vultures descended on Con Ed in the aftermath of this blackout, looking for someone to blame for the night's chaos. In 1978, the lawsuit Koch versus Con Edison was filed. Though the case would drag out until 1982, a court eventually ruled that Con Ed's gross negligence was responsible for the big blackout. The Federal Power Commission also accused the company of not employing emergency measures efficiently after the lightning strike. Con Ed's president bit back, saying that the events were, quote, so extraordinary that they went beyond the design and capability of the system, and that really nothing could have been done. But I'll leave that up to you to decide. Fun fact, Ed Koch also made a cameo in Muppets Take Manhattan.
I loved that movie.
Right? That was one of the good. That's the one where Kermit the Frog was riding a bicycle in Central Park, and you could see his frog legs pedaling the bicycle. And I'm still like...
How'd they do that?
In this age of like crazy cinematic, like crazy animation, like how the hell did they do that?
Oh my God. Oh, that was such a good movie. I think that was my intro to New York City. Joan Rivers was in that movie. Oh, what a great movie.
Amen. If you became mayor of New York City, Desi Lydic, what would you do? What's the first thing you would change?
I think I would make everyone who comes into New York City learn how to walk on the street. That's what I would do. A master class in walking.
It's sort of like there's a citizenship test, but for New York City, there's like a tourist test. Like you have to pass all these like rules of etiquette, of New York City etiquette, which is so different from like the rest of the world.
That's right. You got to keep your pace. You have to have a healthy sense of boundaries between you and other people. If you're going to stop and look at your phone, you peel off to the side, off to the shoulder of the sidewalk.
If you breach New York City, like pedestrian etiquette, you will get screamed at, and you better just roll with it, because that's how
ridiculed.
That's how it works.
And you take it. You get roasted to your face.
Yep.
And if you can't handle it, go to Jersey.
Go to the Jersey.
Go to Jersey. That's your punishment.
If you get yelled at in New York City, you are legally required to forget about it.
Forget about it.
Right? Sorry.
I think we could fix New York.
I think we could.
We got this.
Right?
We're gonna we could have handled this blackout.
We'd be a good team in that mayor's office for sure.
Totally.
Desi Lydic, that is the blackout of 77, the night of terror. Any like macro takeaways here, reflections, ideas, thoughts?
I think it's possible that we are having our own blackout moment right now, metaphorically, not literally, but we're just not seeing anything right in front of us. That's been my big aha moment. Like, oh, this is happening right now. What are facts? We're blind to what's actually happening out in the world. What is reality right now? I took an edible before I started here, Ed, so no.
No, but I actually think that's really keen and savvy. This particular blackout happened at a time of unusual desperation among New Yorkers, and that led to some pretty terrible outcomes during the blackout. And I think it's a really clean metaphor for this moment of like information overload and conspiracy theories, which are effectively a kind of blackout because they're blurring what's maybe like a real take on reality, like what's really happening.
You have fear as a huge motivator,
exactly, kind
of clouding your vision. And when people's needs aren't being met, that's when people act out of desperation and bad things happen. And when you don't feel like you can trust your leaders to take care of you, or your government, or the economy is failing, you can't put food on the table. Yeah, it can be a scary time. Well, hopefully we aren't on the brink of that right now, but
we are.
I don't know. We'll see.
We're
maybe something.
It's literally like any minute now.
Yeah, any minute.
It's just like full Lord of the Flies.
I don't disagree.
I do think that there's, just to kind of spin it back around on the positive note, the city did emerge from this blackout, and as difficult of a chapter as it is also a testament to the resilience of the city. And I kind of feel like, to your point about the broader metaphor, this moment that we're in nationally, I hope is something that can, as we sort of like push through the darkness and the sort of siloed information bubbles that we're all in, that there is a kind of new cohesion that rises out of it, a new sense of community, like national community and national sort of how much we're just interwoven and interdependent on one another, that becomes that becomes like a point of pride instead of like something to sort of shame and ridicule. I believe in New York City. I'm such a believer in the spirit of that city, and I'm a believer in our country. I'm still like this weird. I'm just like this dorky patriot. I just love our country, and I think we can bring it around.
I do too. I'm hopeful. I'm right there with you.
Amen.
And I think it starts with our campaign
for mayor of New York City.
For co-mayors.
We're turning
of
it
New York
around,
City.
Desi. You and me, baby.
You and me.
Here we go. Forget about it. That's our campaign slogan. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
You got troubles? Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Desi and Eddie are here. All right, Desi, thank you so much. This was an absolute blast. Keep crushing it.
So much fun.
You're doing great. SNAFU is a production of iHeart Podcasts and SNAFU Media, a partnership between Film Nation Entertainment and Pacific Electric Picture Company. Our post-production studio is Gilded Audio. Our executive producers are me, Ed Helms, Mike Falbo, Glenn Basner, Andy Kim, Whitney Donaldson, and Dylan Fagan. This episode was produced by Alyssa Martino and Tori Smith. Our video editor is Jared Smith. Technical direction and engineering from Nick Dooley. Our creative executive is Brett Harris. Logo and branding by The Collected Works. Legal review from Dan Welsh, Megan Halson, and Caroline Johnson. Special thanks to Isaac Dunham, Adam Horn, Lane Klein, and everyone at iHeart Podcasts, but especially Will Pearson, Carrie Lieberman, Nikki Etor, Nathan Otoski, and Alex Corral. While I have you, don't forget to pick up a copy of my book, SNAFU, the definitive guide to history's greatest screw-ups. It's available now from any book retailer. Just go to snafu-book.com. Thanks for listening, and see you next week.